My name is Casores, assistant coach for the San Francisco Shock, and this is 5 times the San Francisco Shock clutched up in the Grand Finals, presented to you by NetApp. Coming in at number 5, we have our first point defense against the Seoul Dynasty in the quarterfinals. And this play really stood out to me because we actually started with 2 people down. And then clutch plays from the whole entire team ended up bringing this back. And we actually ended up full holding this whole point. This is the first series, the second map in our Grand Finals adventure. And we are playing against the Seoul Dynasty in the quarterfinals here. And this fight was just insane because we actually end up full holding this Hollywood first point, and this first fight we already should not have won, and this actually ends up starting our full hold on this point. So we're going to start this out. Gesture and Marvel are going to rotate over here, while the rest of the Seoul Dynasty are going to spread out in the main. And Ans actually doesn't realize that this rotation is coming in from Gesture and Marvel. He's going to get picked off. And then Fitz hits a nice shot onto Striker as well with a great flick from him. So at this point, we're already 2 down. Moth is going to find the res onto Striker, however. And as you can see here in the distance, Choi Yobin is going to rotate over to the high ground. So let's take a look at his POV, shall we? Okay, so he's walking up the stairs. He finds Toby, hits a shot, and then he shoots Toby some more. And actually hits a really nice rock here onto Toby. Does a great job securing that high ground. Mercy's the best pick we can get, because obviously they can't res the Mercy here. She cannot res herself. Still, we're only in a 5v5 right now. This is definitely not one yet. But because of that pick from Choi, it's looking better. And as we can see in the corner of our eye here, Ans is actually starting to come out of spawn. So we shall soon swap to his POV because he does just an incredible job. The rest of us is just holding down the fort. And as we can see, Ans walks up. He shoots Gesture a little bit. He goes for this jump shot. And what a jump shot. Kills Fitz from basically the spawn. And after this, we're just going to end up cleaning up. We take out the X Factor from Seoul, Fitz. And we end up winning this fight. And later on, we actually end up full holding this point. At number 4 is a great showcase of how we, the Shock, are really good at playing a man down, taking the space that is given to us, and stalling for time until that person comes back. And that is why this play on Oasis City Center was a perfect example of how we can disengage and then re-engage at proper timing. So here we have the Grand Finals finals. And as everybody knows, the Shock never lost a KOF map this entire Grand Finals. So let's see why that is. And this is a great example, right? We clutch up really hard here. We're going to see Seoul Dynasty with a solid retake. They're taking space on the bottom side here with the Sigma, Mercy, and the Ashe. And they're taking space on the top side here of the Hanzo, the Ana, and the Roadhog. And Smurf is actually going to get caught out here right at the start of this fight, which is of course disastrous for us. You should not be able to win 5v6s, but he's going to end up dying. And what we're immediately going to start doing, as you can see, we're going to start give up all the space here. We give them the point, and this will give us enough time to where Smurf can come back in. So you see Gesture, or Marvel, sorry, ends up ulting on the bottom side here. And this is pivotal. He actually ends up missing this ult because Super ends up dodging it. And we are still taking space. Smurfs now finally come back in. We're going to end up discording Prophet. And if we look at Violet's POV, we're actually going to end up finishing him off. Then we swap over to Ans POV. And he is also going to find a pick. And because of these nice shots and good patient play from our team and focusing the Discord orbs, we are actually going to end up winning this fight, which looked very bad at the start for us. We're going to end up trancing, and we are going to clean up because of this trance. So really good play, really patient play. We end up ceding all the space. Hamid is one of the fastest comeback characters in the game. So he ends up coming back, and we end up winning it. Coming in at number 3, we have our Volskaya second point attack against the Shanghai Dragons, and I felt that this was such a great clip because it shows how the Shock in these long drawn out fights still have the composure and the target focus to make this work even when losing some members, still trusting each other and clutching up. So here we are on our second point attack against the Shanghai Dragons. They have a very, very good time on their attack here. So our attack here is pivotal. If we can't cap quickly, we're going to be so far down in time that this map is almost unwinnable. So let's look at our attack here and let's look at why it's so clutch. Look at our Roadhog POV here. We're going to be taking this left side. This is very normal on this attack on Volskaya. And we're actually going to start this out great. Smurf is going to end up getting a hook onto Void. That was really good. Hooks Void out of the shift. Void makes a little bit of a misplay there. We end up getting that kill. And then we look over to Ants, who now also finds a great headshot onto Izayaki. So we are 2 up. So this fight starts out great. We're moving in on the point. We've got great angles. But as you can see here, Stand 1 is still lurking in the background. And he is actually going to end up finding Moth in the back here with the flank, and Mercy's probably the best pick they can get because Moth has ult, and now we can't res that, right? Because Mercy obviously can't res herself. Lee Jae-gon also finds a res before we can rock him. Smurf's going to chase it down. He ends up missing the hook, follows up with the ultimate. We find Izayaki. Smurf and Choi are playing together great, right? Violet is also still alive, and so is Ons here. Smurf needs to heal up real quick. He gets hooked. Quickly finds the counter hook with the drone from Baptiste. But nice play from Violet. He ends up dying. And now the pivotal point of this fight where everything changes. Because right now we're pretty even. But the enemy team has way better spawn. So it's very tough for us. Void starts ulting. And Hans hits the most insane flick.
No one can hide from
we now have point control because their tank is dead. Hans finds another shot onto Lee Jae-gon, and then our staggers are going to start coming back in. We actually get a res onto Violet as well, and Striker ults from really far away, and he actually ends up finding a kill onto the Ana with this. Ends up coming back to the point here, finishes off the Hammond. Takes angles on point. This fight's been going for really long. And he finds a double headshot onto Lee Jae-gon. And at this point, we are just going to be cleaning up the point. Striker actually ends up dying. This fight's been going for so long that Moth gets another res. We still need to clean it up here. But at this point, it's basically over. We're 5 on the point again. And through great individual plays and a little bit of team play, we end up clutching this Volskaya second point attack. It ends up being a very long fight, but after your Mercy dies like that, you should not be able to win, and we end up turning it around. Coming in at number 2 is our hold on Hanamura second, and this is a fight we really should not have been able to win. Seoul Dynasty starts out with 3 kills in the Grand Finals here. And we really only bring it back because Violet comes out of spawn and instantly finds 2 kills, bringing it back for us, and then the closer spawns on Hanamura really make this clip work. So here we've got a clutch moment where the Seoul is doing a very split push. The Sigma and the Ana are over on the left side, the Hanzo and the Mercy and the Roadhog, who's just gone like this, are over on the right side. And the Widowmaker as main. So this is a very good start here for Seoul, and they're instantly going to translate this start into a bunch of kills in just a second. But we've got Super getting hooked on the right side. He ends up falling. Choi Yobin getting pushed on the left side right here. He's going to have to drop down. Violet meanwhile dies to Fitz with a nice headshot. So this is the worst of ways a fight can start. Striker's still over here on the high ground. Choryobin's gonna have to start running. So we have to seed up all space. Gesture's gonna walk on the point. He's going to find a hook as well. So this has gone absolute disastrous for us. There's no way we should be able to recover, especially considering they already had a full tick here. But what ends up happening is Muff ends up Valking, and Violet gonna come out of spawn. He's gonna be our hero like he was so many times in this series. Super's gonna roll on the point as the Hammond. And Violet's gonna find one pick with the right click. Gonna Discord gesture. It's going to also find him. So now we've made 2 trade kills. Thanks to Violet. Ons is gonna get finished off by Marvel. And Violet's also gonna end up finishing him off. Meanwhile, Super is still stalling the point. We've gotten free trade kills because of small overextensions from the Dynasty, but great plays from Violet, and we're gonna go on to win this fight. We're gonna clean them up. Spawns are super close on Hanamura, and this was just a great clutch from Violet specifically. And then at number 1, we have the final map in our series against the Seoul Dynasty. The final map of the finals, and this just ends up being such a good clip because we end up starting where Moth dies while rezzing. We really have no business winning it. So here we have a fight on the very last map of the Grand Finals. And this is a fight that ends up becoming very scrappy. We actually end up starting this with killing creative. They're gonna trade with the hook or striker. We're gonna punish gesture, but he's not gonna die yet. And this is where we actually make our mistake. We get a little overconfident. Moth tries to res with the transcendence from Violet. That's about to come in. Uses it now. But Fitz actually ends up finding Moth from a great angle. But meanwhile, Super's popping the whole hog, and he is going to tear through the Dynasty here. So he's already killed gesture. He's going to keep walking. He's creating space. He's booping people. And then he's going to find Prophet as well. He ends up killing him. Choryobin's now pushed off Marvel. We're going to push him out. So what starts out from, oh, Moth got picked while we're rezzing, ends up being a sick whole hog. And to top this clip off, the famous Violet elevator ride with the old Hollywood elevator. Takes a little long. He finds Fitz here in the 1v2 with the Mercy. Ends up hitting 2 really nice headshots. Now the 1v1 against the Mercy. Hits another headshot. Almost dies, but ends up living with 1 HP. And this fight was a big reason why we were able to win the very last map in the Grand Finals. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by NetApp. Leave a like and perhaps comment on what other type of top 5 videos you would like to see from us in the future. And yeah, I do regular analysis streams over on twitch.tv/Casores. I'm sure we'll put it in the comments. And thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.